Good. Just hopefully our dishwasher doesn't leak. That was another big project too, but my contractor was here and worked on it, so we're just running it now and making sure that there's no leaks. That's what a pain in the ass. Never ends. Don't own a home. Don't own a home.
Nope, never ends. Maybe we could say hello to Nika. Nika, and I'd see Spunky down there. Get up there, Spunky.
Yeah, Spunky, get up here. Good morning, Marlon, Julie, Allie. I'm guys. I've been awake for a while. I was actually just reading. The Gateway Pundit just put out that the Fifth Circuit courts refused a rehearing on the detaining of illegal aliens. So they upheld that they can detain these guys and get them out of here. Made my morning. I'm sorry, a little good news.
Yeah, man, that is good news.
I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired, Marlon, of all these rogue freaking judges and nothing's being done about them. And it's slowing everything down so much. So every one of these rulings is a big thing to me. I'm just happy we're winning, even if it's a little at a time. Did I break the dang space again? All right, I'm gonna say it only because I got a speaker and I'm not sure if Marlon can hear me. But guys, like and reshare the space real quick just to get it out there. I'm sure a lot of people are looking for it.
Yeah, sorry about that, Nika. My contractor just walked back in. I just was talking with him, so I apologize. Just lock.
All right, Julie, give me 1 minute. I gotta reset it here.
Okay, no problem. So anyway, and then maybe when Marlon gets back, Nika, he'll make you the other co-host too. That would be helpful. Yes, everybody, please go down to the Purple Bubble, like and reshare this. As soon as American X gets up here too, it'll be live streaming on YouTube and on Rumble. So if you can go over there when you get a chance and give it the thumbs up, that would be appreciative. And because people are listening that don't have X accounts, so that would be great. And it's Good Friday. It's a Good Friday.
All right, I'm here. Give me 1 more minute. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's screwing it up.
No problem, Marlon. So anybody see the truth last night that Trump put out, calling out Tucker, calling out the big influencers? And now they're all having little meltdowns today. Well, I saw Candace Owens. She said that, it's time to put Grandpa, I guess, in the home or something that she put in her post on X. I guess she didn't like what he had to say. Isn't it funny how they're coming out with all this stuff now?
Yeah, Alex is out there. I think Alex Jones is out there saying he's got dementia now. Oh, it's the dementia. I like the fact that he called him out finally.
Oh, I'm so happy he called them out. Now maybe people will stop listening to their BS and their bullshit. It comes out, oh, I'm for Trump. I voted for him 3 times, but go ahead, Allie.
I finally got a chance to listen to Melania's statement, and it was very powerful. She did not mince words. She addressed point by point by point of these stupid, ridiculous things that we're hearing on here, these accusations, these baseless comments and accusations. And that woman is just pure fire and fury and class and everything. Like, I just respect her so much, and she's just such a powerhouse. And calling for Congress to allow the Epstein survivors to testify is no easy feat, but it was a very strong, concise ask that she made. And I think it was Massey that posted today talking about how he gave them an opportunity to talk in front of Capitol Hill. That's great and all, but when you're testifying in a hearing and you are able to speak freely, you're under oath, and you are able to speak freely without fear of getting sued, having anything legally come back on you. I think that that's powerful. That's powerful because they are allowed to speak truth in front of the lawmakers on the dais, and for the American public to hear on a live broadcast. You can't have mainstream media clipping and dicing and splicing because it's a live stream of the hearing. And their statements will be entered into the congressional record. It'll be preserved in history forever. People can ask questions. They can literally say what they want to say without fear of, you know, people coming back on them. The words escaping me right now, but basically
Yeah,
legal repercussions.
Allie. Yeah, no, Allie, it was great that she came out. You know that she didn't tell anybody that she was doing this. Nobody knew. I mean, obviously, Trump probably knew, but nobody knew that she was going to do this. And it was powerful. And I think it caught a lot of people by surprise that she came out so strong. And if anybody hasn't seen her documentary movie yet, oh, is awesome. And it just shows what kind of, how much power she really has and how strong she is. And, you know, they're going to try to smear her, obviously try to say all the things that she even said yesterday. She's like, you know, I was never a victim of Jeffrey Epstein's, you know, and I met Donald through, you know, at a private party and everything. It's just, it's disgusting the way that they treat her. She's such a class act. And the fact that she came out and said what she said. Now let's see the real women. Maybe they will have that courage to come and testify. Not the fake women that they had at these testimonies, or whoever these supposed women that said that they say they were victims, and maybe they were at one time. But I think that the people that they had parading behind them at the other hearings when Pam Bondi was there. I don't think that they're the true real victims.
You know, Allie, you're bringing up that, you know, this congressional hearing, it's really evidence is being introduced. And, you know, I look back and I was taught this because when Jeff Van Drew had his congressional meeting about the East Coast Wind, and when he developed a coalition between Maryland and New York and Rhode Island, they had all kinds of people submitting evidence into this congressional hearing, and the congressional hearing equals evidence. I mean, that's what most people don't understand, Allie. That's what we should be doing is submitting evidence.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look at, there was like a statement by survivors in response to Melania Trump. And so I'm trying to find the original document. If anyone can find it and post it in the purple pill. I know that there's many media that are resharing it, but I'd like to see the original statement. Basically, it's saying survivors of Jeffrey Epstein have already shown extraordinary courage by coming forward, filing reports, and giving testimony. Asking more of them is a deflection of responsibility, not justice. Trust me, as someone that's in this space, I understand, you know, that testifying isn't easy. I've testified before. It's not easy. However, when you get an opportunity to testify, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And even in a court case, you have to testify. And so they're saying, oh, it's a deflection of responsibility and delay of justice. I don't agree with that. This is your opportunity to speak to the entire world, not just a hearing on the steps of Capitol Hill. Like I said, you can speak under oath in these hearings and not have a fear of someone coming after you and suing you. And so I think that for true justice, for true accountability, you know, take the opportunity to testify, name names, name places, name events, name whatever you got to do. But to shirk this opportunity and say that it's a deflection of responsibility, I don't agree with that. I don't. If you're too traumatized, that's one thing. But to issue a statement saying that it's a deflection of responsibility, I don't agree with that. I don't.
We should be really doing this on a local level. that evidence that when you go into that public forum at the end of these meetings, that's recorded. That this is really the tactic, Allie, that we're all missing. We need to go to these meetings, and when you voice your opinion, you're actually submitting evidence.
Correct. And to finish the rest of the statement, if you don't mind, Marlon, it said First Lady Melania Trump is now shifting the burden onto survivors under politicized conditions that protect those in power. The Department of Justice, law enforcement, prosecutors, and the Trump administration, which has still not fully complied with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. It also diverts attention from Pam Bondi, who must answer for withheld files and the exposure of survivor identities. Those failures continue to put lives at risk while shielding enablers. Survivors have done their part. Now it's time for those in power to do theirs. Again, I understand, the challenge with testifying, how terrifying it can be. But in my line of work, I've taken every opportunity, any opportunity, to keep moving the mission forward, to keep demanding accountability and justice. And if there's an invitation to testify and submit it, like you said, as evidence to the congressional record that is forever, it is not just siloed in a county case, a state case, or even a federal database. This is the congressional record, which will be preserved for the entirety of our country's history. Take this opportunity. And fine, if you want to take issue with Pam Bondi, then take issue with Pam Bondi on the stand. Take issue with anyone that you want on the stand. But this is your opportunity. And I hate to see an opportunity go to waste because people are just frustrated with Pam Bondi. Take it as another opportunity to assert your frustration with Pam Bondi.
Hey, Allie, I DM'd you the full what she fully said, what came right from her page. It's DM'd to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, if I'm off base, I don't mind having this conversation. And I do think that our Justice Department, hold some responsibility. I think that the Justice Department, for as long as they've had these files, holds responsibility. Many administrations, many lawmakers, there's been many opportunities under different administrations for these files to have come forward. And now that
Here's my problem. Here's the problem, Allie. The problem is when you have the discussion with people and they don't want to hear it. You know what they want to hear? Oh, yeah, Trump's guilty, blah, 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 blah. But who had control of the CIA during that entire time, including Trump's first administration? Who was in control of the CIA and the Jeffrey Epstein files? It's a stupid argument.
It is.
Am I wrong? I just want to know. Am I wrong?
No, I agree with you. And that's why, I love this conversation, this topic, and especially this space, because you guys open up the floor for honest, respectful debate on these issues. And these issues are important. Again, I don't think that Pam Bondi's free of responsibility. I think that take that opportunity as a further reason to show why Pam Bondi didn't do what she was supposed to do. But don't sit there and deny a opportunity to educate and inform the masses in a public hearing. And again, I keep going back to that Capitol Hill speech. I don't know that we got much information from that. I mean, I listened to it. I don't know that we got much information from that. Everything needed to be said a certain way for fear of being sued. And at the end of the day, this is an opportunity to be insulated from that. You have a certain level of protection when you testify. Things are preserved for the record. And then once you've testified, then I would say, fine, they're shirking their responsibility. We have literally done everything. We have exhausted every option. Now the burden is on you. But until testifying, I really think that if they don't show up, or some of them don't show up, at least some of them should show up, because it's a very big missed opportunity.
have this problem, and it wouldn't take the government. And I'm just being
But
flat out honest with you.
it's because of our government. We
No,
can't
ma'am.
call people out. We can't use millstones.
No, ma'am. It's a heart problem.
Our hands have been tied for
Go
hundreds
ahead,
of
Allie.
years.
It's a heart problem.
Let's go on here. That's okay. Go ahead, Brandy. Why don't you look?
Well, I just want Allie to validate.
The word that people don't want to tolerate, Brandy, is compromise, right?
Exactly.
A lot of people they hate that word. They hate that word.
Yeah. And I just want to say, I hear what you're saying, ma'am, and I'm not being disrespectful to you. I'm making a point. And Texas Trucker came up, and he knows too. He knows we have a heart problem. He's been on the road. Allie knows we have a heart problem. What that means is we need to stand up against it ourselves. It should not get to where we have to have someone arrested. We should be, not you, we as communities need to be calling out what's going on in our own dang communities and police our own communities on that type of stuff. I'm not saying to hurt someone. What I'm saying is we've swept this stuff under the rug for years. We have a heart problem. And that's the bottom line. I don't know what else to say, Marlon.
Well,
hang on one second. My own sheriff is more interested in animal abusers than he is child abusers. He makes a big, which abusing animals is bad, whatever. But yeah, but you never hear him say anything about child abusers. He's always marching the animal abusers into jail and making stupid videos and yada yada yada.
Well, if you ever need to know who to call so they will respond, you got two girls right here in this space, Allie and Brandy, that can send you where you need to go to report stuff that will be acted on. I'm seriously, I'm saying that honestly.
So Brandy, hey, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't pushing you for proof. I just need examples. I look, Mikey came in and, hey, he's definitely, his organization definitely worked with Holman's administration on, hey, rescuing those 47 kids. Those are the examples I'm talking about, not specifics.
Well, unfortunately, Shepherd's Watch can't give you any examples because of how we work. But I can tell you that within the last 2 weeks, you've seen 3 of our cases come out in national news. It's happening, y'all. But people that actually do this work, we can't tell you what we do all the time. So yeah, it is.
But Brandy, it's just like when Trump says, he goes, I can't tell you guys, the reporters, when they're asking about the war in Iran, what you're going to do. He's like, I can't tell you. He goes, well, what's the point then? Exactly. Because if you were to tell everybody what you were doing, well, then they would just get smarter and do it another way.
Al, do you want to add in real quick? And I know we got a room full of hands. Darren's been up for a while, Dr. Elder, Brecca, Sovereign. So get out.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing. So I understand the sentiment with wanting to look at the government and see what they're not doing. If you look at who the government's real bosses are, it's us. And so when you look at like a child that's misbehaving, you can look at the child's actions. You can be upset and frustrated with the child's actions, but at the end of the day, you need to look at the parents also and have that be part of the equation. And so what I mean by that is the government is acting like a petulant child. And really, that's a result of us as American citizens having taken a back seat to our government for so long and being apathetic and uninvolved and just trusting that they're doing the right thing without even watching and holding them accountable. And now we want accountability when we haven't been, managing the steering wheel for 50 years. We've been like just trusting that they're doing the right thing. And so now we're trying to assert more control and power, and rightfully so. Late is not, it doesn't mean that just because it's late doesn't mean it shouldn't happen, but it is going to take time to kind of rewrite the ship. But we as American people let the government get out of control because our founding fathers knew that we can give you a country if you can keep it. And you need to be eternally vigilant and eternally diligent in the actions of what your representatives do. And so we need to maintain a seat at the table at all times. And so I understand the frustration with the government. My point is that when the American people took their eye off the ball for 50 something years, We let this get out of control. We have to put in the work to get it back under control and take some time to review and reassess why it got out of control so that we make sure it never happens again.
Allie, you know how many massage parlors are just in my area that I've grown up with my entire life? You could talk about putting your head in the sand. What? Let's go to Darren. Darren, you've been waiting the longest. We'll go to Dr. Elder Brecka.
Thank you, Molly. Sorry, I'm just in the gym. I don't have that much time, but I felt like I haven't been on your stage for a while just to come and say hi. So hello to Marley and Julie. I don't know Nika. Hi, Ali, Brandy. But really, it's just to let you know, because I've heard you speak. Sorry to change the subject a bit. You guys go back to what you're talking about. But I've heard Marley speak a lot about the influencers and I guess the narrative war. And I'm trying to explore more of that kind of darker conspiracy side of things in my spaces. And I saw you in Game Tech Space yesterday, and he was covering a lot about the UFOs. And I'm a part of the UFO community quite largely. So I'm doing a space on cognitive warfare. And I really do see these spaces as a big vehicle for that, Marlon. I've heard you speak about that a lot, especially when it comes to the influencers. So it's really just to let you know and see if you can pop in if you've got the time, any of you guys.
Yeah, Darren, anytime. Make sure, did you schedule it? And hey,
Yeah,
listen, that
it's scheduled. I put it in the pill. I didn't want to put it at the top. So I put it in the pill, Marlon.
Yeah, well, if you can put it at the top, I can't. We got Androids up here, so if you want to put that up at the top, because that subject, there's much more relevance there. I think at the end. working against the citizenry in your own county, this is your avenue to be able to submit this evidence and bring lawsuits, to be able to attack a surety bonds and say, hey, they're working outside of the road, and for those constituents inside of that county. Sovereign, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. A lot of hot topics today. So I just wanted to kind of walk back what we were talking about earlier with our amazing First Lady. I was watching it when it came out, and as a survivor myself, there's a few things. So I had to look at it from a few different perspectives, because at first I was kind of like, oh man, would I want to put myself out there, because I'm very cautious of my identity, my name, all of those things. But then I realized, like, wait a second, these women, they've already given their names, they're public, right? And then I thought to myself, how would I feel? I would feel like that was an opportunity for me personally, to be invited by the First Lady to be able to give testimony. And I feel like and again, I'm just speaking for myself. I can't speak for anybody else out there as a survivor or whatever is going on, but I feel like it's a responsibility, and that's why I continue to speak up. Or if I'm invited to a podcast or speak on this, or we're having conversations about this, because I can't stop until this is like, it's not happening. Because of my experiences and knowing it, I would love to have the opportunity to sit down and have it on record for the world to hear. And I'm sure that if there was anybody out there, like they were like, hey, I don't want to be on camera, I'm sure there are ways that could be fixed. But this is a serious responsibility. And I feel like, again, this is me personally, that if I were to be given that opportunity on the world stage to be able to put it on record and let the world hear the truth, about not just who was involved, but how they operate, how this all, plays out, all of that to the American public. And as far as people being involved or getting active and they want to know what can they do, well, you can go ahead and you can, find out, like, what are the laws in your state regarding trafficking? What are the opportunities available for human traffickers through your state or your county or your
And so when we go to break up that network, we see, let's say, in a neighboring county, that DA over there might have a totally different threshold of what they want us to present before they will even do an arrest. So then we have to reinvent the wheel again, and we build data packets. So it takes a while, depending on what we're looking at, to get that information, to get it to where they want to look at it. There's a lot that keeps us slowed down. There's a lot that doesn't get brought out. Let me mention this as well. Let's not any of us forget the documentary Out of Shadows. Okay? Out of Shadows and Into the Light that are made by Crux, Mike Smith. He shows us how biased media plays out in our country and has for decades. So even if we get those arrests with trafficking charges, now we still have to depend on the biased media to actually want to put it out. So there's so many layers to getting to us as just we the people seeing the arrest. There's so many layers to get there. So I just want to encourage people, just because you're not seeing it does not mean it's happening. It absolutely is happening. Traffickers are going down. Networks are getting busted apart. But our problem as well is that hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people were allowed to just rush right in here, right? So let me go back to something else we have a problem with. One of our networks that we busted up had 52 people in it, or 52 victims, but we were only able to identify 40-something because the other part didn't go through Border Patrol, so there's no facial recognition to identify them. There's tons of things that keep it from the public actually seeing what is happening. So I just want people to be aware that even though you may not see it in national news or on articles, I promise you it is happening, but a whole lot of people don't want you to see it.
Thanks, Brandy. Thank you for explaining it that way too. And I knew there'd be a lot more, somebody else with a lot more resources would be able to explain that better. Joe, before I go back to you, because I know you probably are going to go back on to what Truth was talking about. I'm going to let Take Back go, and then we'll circle back to what you're going to talk about. Go ahead, Take Back.
Hey, thanks for the mic, Julie. So everybody's wondering why nothing's happening and nobody's getting arrested. I'll tell you exactly why. Because the people are not assembling together and learning the law and assembling grand juries. Our founding fathers gave us the people's grand jury, and then the government in 1871 took over with the corporation, and they took over the people's ability to assemble together and call a grand jury. I've talked about this many times. In 1777, William Schaefer petitioned the legislature directly. He didn't go through a representative. And so they've turned around 180 degrees the Republican form of government that we're supposed to have. And now they're the rulers, not us. The people are supposed to be the rulers. And if you look at Trump's inauguration speech in 2017, I'll post it after I get done. We're not transferring power from one administration to another. We're giving it back to you, the people. That's a two-step process. He's giving it to you, but you have to take it up. You have to learn the law. You have to start reading the Magna Carta. That's where basically it started, from Old English common law. And we're supposed to be under common law, not statutes. We, the people, created the government. The government didn't create we, the people. Our founding fathers wrote the Constitution for the management of the public business of the country, not the private business of the people. So it's a mental state. We have to change everything we know, because until you get this into your head, everything they taught you is a lie. Your entire life is a lie, except for your immediate family and friends. They've turned everything around on us. We're just talking about the food. They've taken all the nutrition out of the food. The medical practice, the medical industrial complex has failed you. The educational industrial complex has failed you. The military industrial complex has failed you. They've all failed you. It's all of them. Now you have to pick it up. We were designed for self-governance, not let somebody else do it. So we have to step up. We have to learn the maxims of law. We have to use their words against them, the Black's Law Dictionary. Read all the state constitutions, the Bill of Rights, also the Bill of Rights of the federal constitution, but each state has their own Bill of Rights. And what they did was they parsed out all the rights that were reserved, that the people reserved for themselves, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and acquiring and possessing property, which our kids are our property. You know, not only our cars and our houses are our property. We shouldn't be paying rent, taxes to live in our houses, especially when they're paid off. That's another rabbit hole we can go down. We've gone down it many times. But we have to do the education process because they took all the education of civics out of our education system. They've even taken education out of education, the STEM, you know, and now they're teaching DEI and all this other crap. What is it going to take for you guys to wake up? Not you personally, because all of us in here are mostly woken up, but the people that are new to this group today, just today and the last maybe week, the people that are in here today, what is it going to take for you to start reading? Nobody's reading. We're flapping our gums, but we're not reading, and we're not documenting wrongdoing by government actors in every facet, down from the president all the way down to the Board of Education in your town, and your mayor and your town council and your county commissioners. They instituted commissioners because they wanted to take out the people governing themselves. Now the commissioners, I just heard a friend of mine did a deep dive on how when they came up with the commissioners, the county commissioners. It's totally unconstitutional what they're doing in every facet of government.
Well, you know, this is just, I don't know how, when you came into the space, but in the beginning of the space, we were talking about this, and Brandy said it exactly right. You know, we allowed a lot of this to happen by just sitting around and expecting things to get done. And now people are so reluctant to relearn that we are the ones that are at fault for this.
Well, we're not really
as
at
a
fault.
collective,
Because
we are, because we had our lives. We were going about our lives. We didn't care. We figured, oh, well, you know, our bills are being paid. We get to go on that week vacation and we get to do this and that. And so slowly things got eroded and taken away.
Yeah, but don't be
right?
so hard on yourself. This happened before you were born, before I was born. This happened in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. So don't be so hard on yourself. But now we just have to step up.
Agree. Totally agree. Joe, I know your hand has been up for a while. Let me just let Brandy shut her hand up again and answer that question.
Well, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. Do you want to say it to me again real quick, Julie?
Well, not a question, but I saw your hand go up when Take Back was talking. That's why I thought maybe you wanted to just answer.
No, I just wanted to say two things because I do have to dip, and that was one of them that I have to go. But I just want to say one thing as well. It's very important that we don't trust everyone on this app, okay? Please listen to me closely. There are people, and I know one, who is going around, and it's never been anyone y'all have seen me publicly with, so don't start assuming, please. But there are people going around wanting to make themselves relevant in this counter-trafficking movement, okay? People that some of us thought we have known for years, and they're fake, okay? Again, it's no one you saw me in public, so don't assume anybody that you've seen in my space. But there are people on the backside that are hiding behind whatever they want to hide behind, saying that they know things, they've been a part of things, and they will tell you things, then they'll say, but you can't tell nobody because then I'll get killed. And people are falling for it, okay? Please, vet everyone. If people can't give you someone who can literally vet and has said, yep, I've been boots on the ground with them and I know what they do and I've seen it with my own eyes, don't believe anyone. I'm highly encouraging everyone. We've got a handful that I know of for a fact, going around and trying to make themselves relevant and get into spaces and start talking about this counter trafficking movement that they know nothing about, guys. They will go take pictures with people in the trafficking movement. They will post them. They will say they're their family, and they don't even know the people they're taking pictures with because they're taking opportunist pictures and getting pictures at America's Future or at other events with people saying they're family and, oh, I know them, so, you need to trust me. Don't. I'm warning y'all. All right, I got to get out of here, but that's very big right now, Julie, and it's important for people to understand that. If you're a space host, vet your people before you give them a mic and let them talk about counter trafficking, please, because those people are actually damaging the movement and they're dividing the people. And here's where I believe it might be actually paid orchestration. They're trying to divide the people who are actually doing the work so that they're not as strong together doing the work. So just pay attention. That's all I can say about that subject. Can't talk anymore on it, but it's happening. And a lot of our organizations have been approached by fakes who want to be involved. So y'all pay attention because they're going to come to your spaces next if they haven't already.
Thanks, Brandy. We'll do 100%. And yeah, we know who to go to for the real information. Carmen, I'm going to let Joe go really quick. Only because he's had his hand up and he's pretty quick. So I'm going to let you go, Joe, and then Carmen.
Yeah, well, I got two things going on here. One, we have a $10 billion AI center coming into my city. And whether it was one person, me, arguing for conditional use or 50, it didn't matter. Right after the 50 got done talking, they just approved the transition to I2, and that was that, as if we didn't matter. How I'm reacting to it is adding water reservoirs inside the building, about 200 gallons worth, and every drain is going to go into the reservoir first and excess back out the storm drain. So if they create a shortage, I've got a backup plan. If they don't, I've still got a backup plan for other reasons. If for some reason I miss my bill, I'll have water. Onto the poisons, whether it's hexafluorosilicic acid or iron in your cereal or glyphosate in your food. The glyphosate part is avoidable, so is the iron filings in your food. Once you know these things, you can avoid them. And, when you're petitioning that those sections be removed, say which brand you used to buy and why you're making your own bread from glyphosate-free flour, which I believe is the largest concentration of glyphosate because they use it as a desiccant. And in terms of what flours you'll use only, meaning every other flour in the market's going to suffer that loss. That puts our vote from our wallet into question. Every time we say things like that, we're saying we don't want to be poisoned. Now, that said, until proven otherwise, our government is trying to kill us by misfeasance, if nothing else. The COVID shots are still on the market, the vaccines are still on the market, the fluoridation is still in the water, and 4 out of 5 dentists would prefer you to keep coming back for more fillings and root canals because that's how they make their money. If it's supposed to be good for your teeth, why do we have to have it in our body, destroying our brain and our organs? So another avoidable one. I use an RO system. I use a whole house filter. I avoid all toxins, and the ones that I can get rid of, I do get rid of. And the medical benefits of getting rid of the standard toxins, lead, mercury, aluminum, cadmium alone, add dramatically to life expectancy. Dropping the mic.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Hey, Carmen, how are you doing today?
Hey, Julie. I'm doing good. Getting ready to go to the doctor. I was just coming in to say hello, and I heard y'all talking. Just wanted to say first that very impressed with Melania Trump coming out and addressing everyone that she needed to address, standing up for herself and showing women and young girls out there that that can be done. and that it's important to do that when people are attacking your name. I love the fact that Trump didn't know anything about her coming and doing that beforehand. She made that decision. That was something done on her own. And so, I think that's just a good lead. Melania she's impressive all the way around. She is very involved, especially with the children. And so just a lot of respect for her. And then secondly, in every state, in each state, I know it's different on how to remove a judge or have one impeached. The first thing you need to know is your state constitution, because it's in your state constitution on how that's done. I know you can go through the Judicial Standards Commission investigation and Supreme Court action. So I do know those steps, but it's really important to know your state constitution. And then thirdly, the trafficking. I'll tell you, when I seen the video, this didn't got nothing to do with trafficking, but when I seen the video that Trump put out of an illegal alien taking a hammer and smashing a woman in her face and beating her until she was brutally beating her until to her death, it made me sick to my stomach. But I feel that Trump needs to put more of that information out there for America to see, because if he doesn't, at this point, I mean, the only way of waking people up is just showing it to them. And whether it's the harsh, whatever, it's got to be shown. That's the most sickening thing. It just disgusts me that we have allowed that to happen here in our nation. And I hear what you say, take back, but I do feel responsible, because my eyes were open and I seen things, and I felt like I should have acted earlier, although it started before I was born. After I was born, it was still going on, and I feel like it's my duty. I'm living in a nation that's so freely given by men and women that put their life on the line for me to have the freedoms to speak, the freedoms to step out and go against, try to go against the government instead of fear them. So I appreciate my military men and women for that, all the veterans and the ones still serving, to giving me that right. I think it's important that we get involved locally, and we have to start talking about these midterms. If we don't get the midterms, then we're going to lose everything we worked so hard to get. So they will have Trump impeached in no time, and that's their whole goal. And if that happens, our borders will open right back up, and we'll have our children being slaughtered and women and men being killed again, and our states will be taken over, and everything we've worked for and prayed for will be gone. So my plan is always to trust in God and put God first. But you have to put prayer and action go hand in hand. You can't just pray and sit on it. You got to pray and put action behind it. So I just wanted to say that. I appreciate everyone. God bless y'all. And it's good to see y'all. And y'all have a good day.
Good to see you, Carm. Hey, and I hope you get some good news out of the doctor today. And, Carmen, you did exactly what you're supposed to do. Yeah, there's a lot of guilt behind us sitting back and kind of having our heads in the sand and not listening. We were kids too, right? We're starting to get older. Now you realize, oh my God, we're running out of time with it. So don't take too much guilt. But what you did was you went out and made your platform and your voice. And I want to applaud you for that. For everybody else, man, if it wasn't for Carmen and a lot of other people that had it in, this platform wouldn't be here. So, look, the support that you gave us, all that time, sweetie, if we can turn it around and whatever you need, you let us know. And it's still great timing, if you catch my drift. So, hey, anything you need, let us know. And I got my fingers crossed. I'm praying.
Yes, Carmen. Good luck with everything.
Prayers. Really, that's one of the most greatest things that anyone can gift you is their prayers. If it's coming from a good place. So you got to be careful who prays for you these days. It's so corrupt out there, but the evil is there. But yep, I need prayers, and I think I'm going to have a pretty good visit. I just got to get a tube taken out and see if I got to have the surgery for my heart. And if I do, I'll be going in immediately. So I'll try to get that information to you. Just that's all I ask.
Oh man. All right. Yeah. Let us know. I'm sorry. I hope somebody's there holding your hand.
And Carmen, I'm glad that you brought that up about how Trump put that truth out about what that evil, illegal did to that woman. And it will be very, very telling if this person does get arrested. I don't know if they caught him yet or if he is arrested, if he's in custody, and then goes to trial and gets either let out or some stupid thing happens to him, like just like the poor for Irina's killer. Look what they said did to him. They said, oh, he was unfit to stand trial. Bullcrap. He knew exactly what he was doing. This was premeditated. He knew it. He said, as soon as he did it, he says, I got the white person. This is what we're talking about with these corrupt judges. That's going on in this country. And so by Trump putting that out, which was a great thing, and he needs to put out more like that, because people will look at his truths. We'll see this. And then when this person does go to court, and if he gets let out, or if he gets a slap on the wrist, or he gets probation or something, and nothing happens, then I want to go back to those people and say, well, what are you going to do about this now? How do you feel about this now?
They don't feel anything. They really don't feel anything. I think they're demonic spirits, and if they're not, then they sure feel that way when they can't stand for a young kid that is battling cancer, or someone that has put their life on the line for their rights and their freedoms. It's a sad thing to see. In North Carolina alone, I mean, just this past weekend, there was another murder, innocent murder in Raleigh, North Carolina. There was another murder in Charlotte, North Carolina, which I can see why in Charlotte, because their police commissioner is not worth a shit. But North Carolina has a lot of issues and a lot of things to address, because there's a lot of shady stuff going on in North Carolina. Josh Stein doesn't even know, he don't even know where his own ass is, and he's the governor. The problem with North Carolina is there's so many people that's moved in and turned us into this state I don't even recognize anymore. So we really have to get the word out there in our own communities here and just in my state, North Carolina, and get people to vote in the midterms. The midterms are so important, but everyone shows up for the presidential election and nothing else. And all these others, our judges are voted for in our cities, in our towns, and it's just important. But it's just when you look at your state and you don't recognize it anymore, it's really sad. Because I know how great of a state it can be. And in order to have a great nation, you have to have a great state. Every state has to be fixed. We've got to fix it from the local level up. And that's what I've always known. And so, I pray for everyone in every city around this nation that they're safe and they keep their head on a swivel and they pay attention to their surroundings. Sad to say, but that's what has to be done right now. Trump is making big moves, and they don't like it. And I hope he keeps making them, keep ruffling their feathers. We just have to be more vigilant.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Carm, we were talking earlier, and we were talking about budgetary and everything else. And look, I've said this for a long time. I think that's just happening right now. All those money trains and pet projects and all the money Doge found. I think there's traps for every one of them. I mean, I think it's just going to bottle up the evidence, dude.
Yeah.
I just feel it coming.
I turned 6 organizations in North Carolina to where I was supposed to turn them in at. 6 of them that I found fraudulent activity, and showing that with evidence that the donations were not. They weren't correct. I mean, you don't go from 226 million to 1.4 trillion in 2 years. No way. You say that you're a church and you pull up and there's an apartment complex, right? And so it's really easy to get involved and to really make a difference. If you can't leave your house, there's, and you have a smartphone, there's all kinds of ways to get involved in your communities to help others throughout the community, and going out and finding this fraud that's in every state across this land, and everything that our military has stood and fought for. It just, it's like a slap in their face, and I don't like that feeling. My father was a veteran, grandfather. There's many veterans that are great friends of mine. I think, God bless the military and the ones that were over there in Iran and still are over there, again, standing for the American people. And so I just think it's important one thing we can at least do is get involved locally and honor their time served or they already passed. So, yeah.
That's our duty,
Marlon,
right, Carl?
Marlon, remember when I was telling you about Dawn Fantasia yesterday? She is pulling out the fraud that's in New Jersey. She's part of the 24th legislative district, which is one of my districts, my district. And she's a force to be reckoned with. I know she's got the Trump administration's ear. And today she just put out another post. This is what you were just talking about, Carmen. It was the overpayments. So New Jersey overpaid $7 million of taxpayer dollars on a building valued at $8.5 million. They paid $15.5 million and then handed it to Newark Public Schools for $1. Why? Like these are being, and this is the kind of stuff that you have to get behind these people. You have to get behind them because they are the minority in the legislature. So we have to get behind with our voices and help her out and do all that kind of stuff. Those are the important things. So Carmen, I'm glad that you said that because that's exactly what we're doing here with our minority in the legislature is getting behind her, and hopefully we'll get her to contribute some sort of an article or that when the magazine gets taken up, we can kind of get her to weigh in and to help us out as well. That would be awesome. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I think she'd be a good voice. Absolutely. Let's go to take, and then maybe we say a little game.
So, Julie, I know all that stuff is good, and we have to do that and get behind our legislators. But what we really need to do along with that is to learn the Constitution, because we can remove them if they're not doing their job. Now, Dawn Fantasia is probably doing her job, but the ones who aren't doing their job, we don't have to wait for an election. If we learn this process, we don't have to wait for an election. If you read New Jersey's Constitution, Article 1, rights and privileges, it should be, shouldn't be privileges, but it's there. So Section 2 is all political power, paragraph 2, all political power is in the people, and we have the right to I should know this by heart. Reform or alter the government anytime we see fit. So it doesn't say you have to wait for an election. If you learn this stuff, we can remove these people immediately and put somebody good in there. We don't have to wait for an election. So while we can't depend on them, the legislators are themselves, because they don't know this process either. But if you learn this process, we can remove them, and we don't have to wait for an election. So I just want to give a heads up. We got to learn that process.
I totally agree with you, Take Back. I was talking about like what Carmen, we were talking about the fraud that's being pulled out in each and every one of these states. And she is going hot and heavy on this where nobody else is doing that. And that's one of the biggest reasons why the people that have power in the state have the power is because of all the fraud that's been allowed to go on for years and years and years.
Well, you know what? And Take, I want to say something to you. Hey, do you remember Barbara that you turned me on to? Take, can you do me a favor? Could you see if you have her phone number again? I would like to get back in touch with Barbara, and I don't have it.
And she's in Gloucester?
Yep.
Dada? Was it Dada?
Say that again?
Dada?
Barbara Tada? No, I don't think that was it.
All right, I'll check.
Well, yeah. We'll go on. You know what? I really got to look back at my notes, but hey, I wanted to say hello to Game, one of my favorite hosts out there, and he was able to kind of expose me some different thought processes yesterday. But Hey, man, Game, thanks for coming in, and thanks for giving me the co-host yesterday, and it's a good alliance.
Good morning, Marlon. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Carmen, Julie, Nika. Am I saying that right? Nika? Nika or Nika?
Mika.
All right. Good morning, guys.
Yeah, man, I tried. And I know he tried to get me to say that I know that Bigfoot is real. He was going to play a clip. He tried to get me to say it.
I was so
funny,
close.
Shane.
I was so close, Marlon.
You about have Marlon saying Bigfoot is real.
I truly was. I was like within just maybe a second of him saying it, and he caught on to what I was doing. So I didn't get the clip that I wanted.
Dang it, Game. Yeah. Man, we depend on you for stuff like this, man. Good to see you, Game Tech.
And go Ducks. Good to see you guys this morning, too. It's a great conversation. I've been jumping in and out, been driving, but you guys are kicking ass this morning. I'm so sorry, Marlon. I'm so sorry.
Nah, look, PG-13, remember?
That's acceptable. That's acceptable.
Yeah, we went over this yesterday.
Yeah, we did go over that. See, that's where my brain is, man. I forget about things like quick. I blame the COVID.
No worries, man. Oh, it is definitely COVID. It might have a little bit to do with old age there, Game. I'm with
that. That might be too. That might be too.
Hey, really quick, before you go on to hands, Marlon, take back. I put in the purple bubble. I don't know if you were in the space yesterday when I played the guy that went to his town council about the data centers, and he recited basically the Constitution to them and left them spellbound. So it could have been you. That could have been you, but it wasn't. It wasn't you, but because I've seen you, so I know it wasn't you. But anyway, I think you should take a listen to that. You'll like it.
Yeah, I was up in Cranberry. I served them the notice, but they
yes, that's what I met you.
Right. Yeah, they canceled it out before we got to the next steps. But just keep pushing. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, Game, you want to say something, and then we can go to Joe Veg.
Yeah. What do you guys think about all of the data centers that's popping up and the financial reset that's going to go on? Like, what do you guys? How do you feel about that?
Well, look, I can tell you right now, North Vineland, which is probably about 10 miles from my house, the residents are complaining about the data center. It's up and running. There's a buzz. They're looking now how they're cooling the thing, whether or not there's nitrates that are dissolved in the water, and to boot, 2.5 miles from my house in this rural area, they're going to put another data center. So, we were in here kind of yesterday, like, what numbers are they crushing that we can't do on our own servers? Why do we need all this quantum equivalent of power? I mean, that's what people are saying. It's just a quantum system that needs this power.
I think it's very simple. I think that if they want this, if the politicians want this, fine. Let them have it. Let them have their cup and tea and all of that and parties and whatnot and their money. Of course, the money has everything to do with it. But force them to live right next to the center, like literally right next to it. And that would kind of solve the voting issue. If we could just say, hey, fine, go ahead. But can you put an amendment in there that you guys need to live literally right next to the center? And see what they say about it. See if they will support.
I want your wells, because I'm on a well, Game, right? I want you to live right next to that thing, and I want you to drink your water coming out of that well, and then I'll be satisfied.
Exactly. I mean, absolutely. That's what we need to do. Force their hand. If they're wanting this so bad, force their hand and say, okay, then fine. Let's do this. We're going to be on board with this, but you have to live right next to the center. If you think it's safe for us, let's see if it's safe for you. That's
well, that's funny you say that, because that's the same thing. Well, it's a little bit different, but it's the same idea. about living next to a data center. One of our other GOP legislators who was really, really big in the fight, he said, about us, the sanctuary status, and they want to make us a whole sanctuary state instead of sanctuary cities. And he says, well, I want each one of you guys to offer to take an illegal in. If you're gonna let them stay and let them live off everything, let me see who's gonna raise their hand first. That's going to allow them to stay at your residence, and you take care of them. And of course, they silenced him and took away his mic. So there you go.
Of course. Okay, Carm, you want to respond real quick? We'll go to Joe and Vegas.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Sorry. In North Carolina, I know they're looking, like NC's looking just about the data center tax breaks. It could reach billions, is what Governor Josh Stein says. He did do one thing, and he asked the data center the state's energy policy task force to review or potentially scale back data center tax breaks. But then we also have about 6 county states: Person County, Forsyth County, Apex, Wake County, which that data center was coming, but they pulled out. That doesn't mean they can't come again. About 4 of them, that's 4 major counties that they're planning on putting data centers in, which we already have. So it's a big issue, and the reason they pulled out of the Apex Wake County one is because the grassroots got involved, and that's what you can do. I mean, just shows that grassroots when you get involved and a community comes together, things can be done if you know your constitution, state constitution, your rights, and if you push back hard enough. But so they stopped doing the zoning, and they stopped doing anything in that area. But again, future attempts are possible. So I think it's a big issue, especially when you have that many coming in your area. So something to look out for. Thanks, y'all.
Joe, you want to add something? We'll go to Vegas.
Yeah, I just wanted to add. I was hearing the people's jury or court or whatever. The weakness of our legal system is that for any reason or no reason at all, a judge can determine you have no standing and dismiss the case without looking at any evidence. So I think it's on us to protect our own families from some of the stupid and dangerous things that government votes on. So when I say how I react to this is, if this data center goes in, there could be a risk to my family's health, and that's what I'm doing to preserve it. But it's something that can't be ignored. John Bodwin covered it. We saw it also in the 2020 election. There was always no standing. There was no facts presented. They just said, you have no standing. So our right to readdress has been stolen from us, and it needs to get taken back. I'll drop the mic there.
Good point. Go ahead, Vegas, jump in.
First off, happy Friday, everybody. Thank God the week is almost over. What's up? And Julie and Nika. I see Carmen. Yeah, I just wanted to say, first of all, game, go Ducks. Second of all, aren't the data centers in Pendleton? When I lived in Bend, I believe they were building data centers in between Pendleton and Redmond. So, I mean, I guess that may be a good area, and I'm not a fan of data centers at all, but, just got to make people aware. Be loud, go to city council meetings, go talk to your mayor, go talk to people and have a voice. But I just wanted to tell game, go Ducks, because, it's that time of year almost. Spring game tomorrow.